Okay, awesome. So Debbi Sluys is joining us today from Ontario, Canada, and she helps ambitious leaders and service professionals create a powerful vision so that they can achieve life work blend for a joy-filled life. Now, I love that, joy-filled life. This is awesome. And today we're talking about vision boards, what to do, how to do it properly so that it works. The reason why we're doing it now is because you can plan your next year after just seeing this video. Thank you so much for meeting me. And first question already, why even create a vision board? What does it give us? Why am I asking? Because some of my friends here are men and they watch this and they are probably like me. When I hear vision board, I have this label around it saying girly stuff. This is girly, this is not for me, my energy is male, you know, I don't need that. I don't need a vision board, I can just work. But then I did create a vision board and I did it properly and it worked. I designed my ideal man and he came into my life 2 months later. So this really works. Even if you're a man, successful people do vision boards. This is why we're talking about it. So tell us why. Any other reasons? Like, how can we tell ourselves, okay, this is tonight, I gotta sit and really do this, you know?
Your energy is off the hook. I just gotta say, I love it. So to answer your question about male, actually, when I first started doing vision boards and I would talk about it with my girlfriends, their husbands would be listening. And what I found was that the husband actually understood it more quickly than my girlfriends, which surprised me because corporate world understands the power of images. They understand, like when you think about the foundational blocks, the wheels, you know, in the organization, the like they use word pictures all the time to describe good leadership, cohesive team building. Like it's all about imagery. So the men actually understood it more quickly than the women around what I was doing and the power of it, because it's been embedded in our corporate world for many, many years. And I think men like Jack Canfield, he co-wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. He's a huge proponent of vision boards. Jim Carrey, Steve Harvey, like, again, very successful men who understand the power of vision boards. I think that women are just maybe more comfortable getting together in groups. And maybe that's why it feels feminine. But yeah, I've been actually, my clients right now are 50-50 male and female.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So especially when I'm doing it one-on-one as one-on-one coaching and doing the vision that way. I think maybe males feel a little bit more apprehensive getting together, like I said, in a group, but I also have done them for couples. And which is really interesting, where one couple creates one board together for their life. I've had couples that were about to get married. I've had couples that were just into marriage for a couple of years. And then I've had people that were, you know, 25 years in. And it's a beautiful way to create intention. So to answer your other question, why do a vision board? It's to fully live out your life. Like for much of my late 20s and 30s, especially when my children were young, I was really on autopilot. I was saying yes to my boss, to my children, to my family, to expectations that maybe weren't even there or that and what a vision board gives you is like it becomes about what you want for your best life. And it's also living out your full purpose. So it's about being intentional and being grateful for every breath, every day, and what we get to do and what we get to create. So it's really about the joy, as you said.
That sounds so much better than any New Year's resolutions, which don't work. And I always tell people, don't do that to yourself. You're just going to lose respect to yourself in May when everything goes to the crapper, you know? So don't do that. But the vision board is different because it doesn't put that kind of pressure on you. And it actually allows you to look inwards, which is something that you're right. I used to forget that. That's why I got depressed when I was working at the corporate world, because everything was just laid out for me. I was just a follower. follower, just following the path that was already there, instead of thinking about what do I really want. And that's how we later get unhappy, get diseases, get anything that's really uncool in life, you know? So that's awesome. So let's talk about, well, by the way, when you were talking about couples, you said it's a great way of creating attention, and I said, okay, also tension, because I can imagine that, you know, the woman is cutting out a baby picture out of the newspaper, you know, and she's putting the baby, slapping it on there on the board, and the man says, I don't want to have kids. What is that, you know? That's the way to create tension, not attention. Hopefully that never happens.
Well, and if it does, what a beautiful way to open the conversation. So, and then that's where I get to coach and support the couple. I haven't had that, but I did think that was one of my fears actually that showed up for me, to say, how am I going to handle that? But yeah, it's a great open up conversation. And I actually have another workshop that I do for people just becoming just married, so they can make the vision board specifically about their wedding day, because it's assumed by the bride, assumed by the groom, assumed by maybe the family, and to let's just take it out and look at the whole thing. Who do we want there? Where do we want it? How much is the budget going to be? What are the, like, so all those decisions. So it's a great tool to open up conversation with one another. But that's a bonus, because mostly what I focus on is for people to have the conversation with themselves.
Yeah.
It's about having, and maybe we've never stopped to have that dialogue with myself, to say, what is it that I really want? I bet you, many women can say, this is what my children want. And even maybe this is what my spouse wants. This is what my employer wants. But what do I want? So it's an opportunity to really be still, be quiet, and give that time to yourself to focus on what is it that you want. May I continue on with this?
Absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead.
So some people think about a vision board as, well, what do I want to have? They think of it like a shopping, right? Like, what do I want to have? What do I need to do to have that? And then I'm going to be happy. And for some people that, again, are in this journey of self-awareness, they've shied away from vision boards because they're like, that feels surface, that feels shallow, that doesn't feel in alignment with the personal journey on. And so how I promote a vision board is that it actually is the opposite. So it's not have, do, be. It's actually be, do, have. So who do I get to be? Who do I want to be? My highest self, my best version of myself. Then what do I get to do? The action. How do I step into that best version of myself? What habits am I going to create? Who am I going to surround myself with? And then the abundance, the have, will show up.
And then in that process, how do we make that visual? If I wonder, who do I want to be? And how do I get from this question into actually cutting something out physically or in Canva or in graphics to put it there, how do I get from that to a visual?
So, and that's why this is so much more than just crafting. Like it's like work. You're doing personal development work by creating a vision board. So thinking about, how do I want to feel when I am at my best? And I lead as I coach people, I lead them through a visualization exercise about thinking about, what am I wearing? Who am I spending time with? Where am I going out with my friends? Or am I going out? Am I hosting them at my house? Do I see children, like you said, in my future? And, so really visualizing and stepping fully into that, and feeling all the feelings, allowing that to come in, that emotion, those feelings, which then promotes energy, which promotes the law of attraction, which we haven't really talked about. But the images, to answer your question, it's really interpretive. It's like art. Someone can go into an art gallery, and two people can walk through the art gallery and have completely different experiences. Someone can feel joyful, somebody can feel sad. It all is based on our past experiences. So looking at images and feeling, how do they make me feel? Is this something that I want to have on my vision board that will promote this way of being that, maybe a little house by the sea, or it may be a corner office in a high rise. It may be your own little shop, or it might be someone doing catering. It's all relative based on what your desires are, what you want, and how you want that to make you feel and be.
So where do you get inspiration for that? You know, you can say, okay, I want to, people are often, even my clients who are usually a lot of times very, very self-aware, I ask them, what do you want to be? How do you want to feel like? And they say, I want to be happy. But to get from there to what you actually want, I guess you do need inspiration, because otherwise you're just stuck in your head. So what do you suggest as inspiration when we're starting that vision board to put something on? Because I can easily imagine somebody just sitting by, you know, having everything prepared, and then just it's a blank piece of paper, and then these thoughts that, oh my God, I'm hopeless, start showing up. So how do we avoid that?
So, and that's why they need to have someone like you and like I as coaches to help support them with that. Because what shows up usually are things like, well, that's not realistic. Well, that's not practical. How's that going to happen? And what I lean into my clients and I ask them to trust is to say, if it sounds really crazy, it goes on your vision board.
Now repeat that. This is important, guys. If it sounds crazy, it goes there.
That's right. So where to find inspiration? I can give you a little exercise that can help the listeners.
Awesome. We love exercises.
Okay, so set a timer for 1 minute. And 1 minute doesn't sound very long, but when you're actually under the gun, like with the minute, so set it on your, you know, whatever, on your phone or whatever, and then answer this question: what do I want? And write down as many one-word answers, and don't analyze, second guess, and try to have them be individual answers. So each one be different, but again, just brain dump whatever's coming to your mind, and write them down in that list. Another way to do it is, if you have a partner, someone who will do this with you, is for 30 seconds, have the person repeat the question, what do you want? And you say whatever comes to your mind. The person doesn't respond to it, doesn't know expression. You don't get a discussion, go, yeah, me too. You know, you repeat the question, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? 30 seconds, then they switch roles, and the other person asks the question, and do it again. So the second time around that you're going to be digging deeper, and that being is going to come out. So, and then what I would say is, take a look at what has manifested, what came out, the answers that came out, and ask yourself, is there anything that is repeated? Things that are maybe a theme that are coming up for you. Take a look at the list and say, is there anything that's a surprise?
Yeah.
And that happens often for people. Again, if you think about it, you gave yourself 1 minute to think about it. And so often we don't even give ourselves the minute that it takes to, and it's sitting right here. It's like, you ever had it when you're feeling a bit emotional and you're sort of keeping it all together all day, and then someone right in your eyes and says, really, how are you? And you're like, oh, right? And
and you start crying like crazy.
Right? Sitting right here. And that's what I find when people are asked the question, what do you want? Or you ask it yourself. It's been sitting here all along. It just needs the opportunity to come out. So that's a really great starting point, is to see what's coming up for you around that. And then I'm a big proponent of paper, not online. You can ask online, but there's something very gratifying, playful, organic, of actually ripping pages out of flyers, magazines, and so forth. So that's how I encourage my clients to find their images. And that even in that process, there is a trusting. So I give my clients 3 words to summarize the vision board process. Ask for what you want. Believe it's possible. And last, open, and the last word is receive. So to be open to receive.
Yeah.
And so,
So what are some common mistakes that we can make? You know, how do we mess it up? How do we mess it up and it doesn't really work for us? How do I avoid that?
sure. So I already mentioned this, where people think of it as a shopping list or as a to-do list, or they put things on there that are pretty much 100% already, they've already got the plan of action. But I know many people do that because it's scary. It's super scary to put things on when you don't know how it's going to manifest. And there's a sense of, well, if it doesn't manifest, am I going to feel like a failure?
Mm-hmm.
People want to put things on where they're like, I'm guaranteed to know that's actually going to manifest. And then I can say it manifested. And that's the ego talking. So to resist that. The other thing is I'm also promote order on your board, not collage. And the reason for that is because creating the vision board is just the beginning. It's really about the time you spend afterwards. And again, I help my clients with some of the tips and tricks around those, you know, how to make it the most habitual activity and what's the best time of day to look at it and all of that. But you can't do that if it's all cluttered. So if it's all, the images are overlapping. And the other, this isn't wrong, so, but is if you just have it be words. Because words, even though you can see them, it's not the same visual.
It's not the visual.
So yeah, so I would say collage might be something you can't really mess it up, because I've had people that have done that and have still manifested. But I would say that what I teach, it'll manifest faster, because it's like a painter. I mean, you can figure it out. I mean, if you had the paints but if you had an artist teach you, and just like you're coaching your clients, you can give them the exercises, the pathway to a mindset, a clearer mindset, and for their goals with health in a much more quick way, versus if they just had to figure it out on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you get a coach to correct. I correct a lot. You know, you do something, do an exercise, and I tell my clients, okay, now you use this word here. There's a more powerful word that you can use here that's actually going to enable you to get results. Not sometimes it's not faster, sometimes it's at all. You know, if you mess things up completely, you might not get results at all, because you have some just absolutely, you're blocked internally, and then it's not going to work for you. I want to add one thing to this, which to this list, which is really important for me. Be detailed, as in spend a lot of time thinking about it. When I was designing my living room, I designed the colors of my pillows. It had to be like, you look at what you have on the vision board, and if I take a look at it today, I take a look at it tomorrow, maybe just one photo, I can focus on one photo, and if there's a tiniest tingling that this isn't right, that maybe I want something else, this has to go, because then I'm going to resist it happening. So you need to be really detail oriented. And I guess you can also do a vision board when you want to lose weight, because losing weight is not about diet. It is not about exercise. It is about losing identity. When you lose weight, you lose identity. So you want to plan that. You want to design that new identity. So if you're struggling with weight loss, what I would suggest, you also create that vision board. Again, we started with the question that we mentioned. Who do I want to be? How do I want to feel? Yeah, and then from there, things will start opening up, and we come up with questions, with answers, with ideas that have been in our heads forever, maybe even sitting here, like you mentioned, but they never surface. So allow yourself to just be creative.
May I add something else?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so that is another warning that I do give to clients as well, is that they not use it as a discipline, like in meaning that they feel badly. Like, so weight loss absolutely is one of the number one things that I see where women are wanting to release. And I don't say lose weight, I say release. Because if we lose something, our subconscious is like, oh, I have to find that. So we don't want to find more weight. We want to release it. And so I discourage people even putting images of themselves, say 20 years prior, where they were, well, I was thinner then, and but I'm like, you're never going to be 20 years younger. So resist the urge to put images that are comparing with someone else or even yourself that will be compare and despair. And what I would say is exactly what you said, Alex, which is where I would even go past the weight loss, which is the how, and go past that into what do you want to do? Where do you want, like when you're at your healthiest, what is it that you're going to be doing? And I had this one lady and she's like, I want to play on the beach with my grandchildren and feel comfortable. I'm like, oh, so that's the image, whether it just be at the beach or a woman with children on the beach, like whatever provokes that amazing feeling of vision of that will be me at my healthiest. You see the difference between having someone that's just, you know, a thin person on your board, and that just makes you feel crappy. Yeah, so I have that with a number of things. Like people will put, I had one lady, she put up an image of two older people, and they looked really sad. And she's, I knew you were going to ask me about that. And I said, well, tell me why you have sad seniors on your board. And she said, well, because I know my parents are getting older and I want to remember that I want to spend time with them. And I said, but how does that picture make you feel? And she said, it makes me feel sad. And I said, so knowing that you've got only limited time with your family, how can you put an image on there around love, conversation, you know, what you want versus what you don't want?
Right. Never put anything that you don't want there, because they're just going to be resistant. That's the opposite. We only put the things that we want in there, absolutely. And no one has to know about it too. No one has to know about it. So we're going to be wrapping up. Thank you so much for this. I think you have an invitation for our viewers, if I'm correct.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Alex. I got so excited. I get so excited talking about vision boards. So if people would like a taste of visioning, I'm offering a free workshop December the 15th. And if you go to my website, it's at the bottom on the home page, and you can just go right there. So my website is dare, the number 2. Well, you can see it behind me, maybe dare2declare.com. And it's Power Hour mini vision board. So it's creating a power word for 2021. And I've had a number of power words. I've had kindness, believe, ready. This year was generous. That was my word. So whenever I had to make a decision, or I was in a conflict, or even celebration, I thought, what would my most generous self do? And it's
I love that.
Yeah. So it's very motivating, inspiring, and it's just an addition to your vision board. And I would, and it's great to put the word on your vision board if you decide to go the full vision board, but even just beginning with a card. So if you want to come, all you need is an index card, like a recipe card, or if you had an old greeting card that you can just use the back of it, and a marker. And then if you want, you can show up with stickers and so forth. But you're not actually going to make it during that power hour. You'll be making it afterwards, but I'll give you the instructions and the provocation to discover your word for 2021.
Oh, this is awesome. So simple and so much better than any New Year's resolutions. Again, you know, I'm totally against that. Just a word that you're going to be cultivating, one word. That is excellent. I love that. I love that. So I put the link to the to your website there in the comments. I think it's clickable. So guys, if you want to sign up for the free workshops, it's on the 15th of December, and there's the website, and you can also follow Debbi here on Instagram. Thank you very much for joining us. This is very informative. And if there's, let me check if there's any questions. I forgot to ask about questions. No, there's no questions here. Yeah. So Thank you again, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Relax, take your time, spend it with family. Do not go crazy. Do not think that you need to be, you know, all over the place. Just spend time relaxing and giving yourself some love. Thank you very much, Debbie.
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Same here. Bye.
Bye.